Okay, very nice day so far. It will be a green day today, even though it's early. It's green. Nice strong bounce. It's Tuesday. Yesterday, so obviously Friday was the big catastrophic, historic, manipulative day. Boom, down we go. Everyone gets shocked. Then yesterday we actually go back down, make new lows in gold. We end up retesting and flushing out lots of weak hands, which is brilliant. All gaps are filled. I guess they all do get filled in the end. And we end up retesting this breakout zone, this 4,400. I remember it. We were sort of going slowly staircasing while silver was sort of outperforming and already squeezing. And then we broke out, retest, and then basically it was a squeeze, right? And we've retested that, come all the way back down with the elevator, right? Elevator's a lot faster than the stairs. All gaps are filled. The big resistance is retested support. We bounce very strong. We're back in the ascending. And actually, we end up closing yesterday, Monday, pretty much where Friday's low of day is, and the open, therefore, is also there. And I think we've got resistance around here, right? So yesterday's open becomes resistance. So I think we're there now. Let's call it 4,900. Hopefully, I'm wrong and just go straight through. That would be nice too. But there's something there. It's hard to call all the resistance, but you're gonna have to try now. So 1 hour chart, 4,900 slash, yeah, 4,950 is something small there. But otherwise, I got this 5,000. Actually, let's get rid of this. All right, let's just try and make it as clear as possible. So I got 4,900 on gold. We're there right now. Hopefully, I'm wrong. It keeps going, and then 5,100, let's say 20. All right, you got some support there, bit of resistance. Down we go. I think if we go up, that might be something. Otherwise, after that, it's basically the old highs. So it's good. It's simple. It's not too many to remember. That's what I have for gold. Quite simple stuff, but so far very nice, right? Tuesday morning, we're bouncing. It's up 5% pretty much. And by the way, the miners yesterday were green, like unchanged. They were outperforming. I like that. Silver, similar sort of thing. We didn't go as low as gold, right? So we did go and test Friday's low of day. We did go lower, but not by much. This is strong support, 71, this zone here. All right, you can see that. That's obviously now your support. So that's pretty simple, 71-ish. Today's going to be an update, so I don't think we have to care about that. I don't think there's any huge news that will turn us around. I think we're done going down. If we are not, then there's your support, the 60, right? This ascending. I really don't think I need to go into that. Although, and actually, what's goals? I cannot see that happening. If gold goes down, 4,200, 3,900. Nah, let's not even talk about that. Honestly, I don't mind being completely caught off guard there because I don't think that's gonna happen. So resistance, I've got 88, pretty close there, right? That's yesterday's high of day, Monday's high of day. And after that, I'm not saying you just go up, but there's nothing clear enough for me to put in, so just leave it blank. I mean, I could already guess now, maybe some psychological numbers, but for me, you take out 88.5-ish, you close above that, you should keep going, and we're pretty much there. So gold and silver actually near their resistance. Strong bounce so far, 8.5% for silver. That's pretty much a big day. I know we've seen slightly bigger moves and like 15% recently, but that's just too wild. But we're stabilizing. So 71 is your support. And if I look at just before looking at the miners actually, which outperform, let's just look at the dollar real quick. That's becoming, I don't think that's, silver's just done what silver's done. Obviously, it's manipulative dumping at special hours, thinly traded. That's got nothing to do with the dollar, but just a slight respect to the dollar. So that flushed, right? And you can see it's bounced. I think this should be resistance, so we should roll over. We should roll over and go back down and basically start hitting the low 90s. So maybe that will be an extra catalyst. I'm just wondering about yields. Yeah, I want to just cover it now before I forget because I'm so used to not caring. But look at this. This is the EU 10-year average, which is basically the same as the German, right? Because Germany is Europe. But that's about to take out 2.9 and run to new highs. That's, financial crisis stuff for sure. So Japan, that sort of went wild. It retraced. We're consolidating, probably going to go back up and run some more. What about America? Same sort of thing. We're looking like we want to go back up 30 year, 10 year, right? So that might have an impact soon. That'll be like a catalyst when we need it. GDX. Okay, so closed technically green, basically unchanged, whilst gold and silver were red, even though they had a nice bounce. So the miners, all right, I'll just get rid of this. It's obviously support now. The miners slightly outperforming, right? If I just do what will I do? I will do silver, no, SILJ versus silver, even though we're not looking at SILJ. Okay, so this is the historic low, huge, Jesus, huge reversal candle. Although so far yesterday was a low. That's a bit strange. SILJ versus silver. Ah, okay, that's because silver's moving now. It's taken into account right now. Well, SILJ hasn't opened yet, but anyway, I expect us to go sideways and up. Let's go back to GDX. That didn't really work for me to show my message. My message is that the miners outperformed yesterday. We closed the gap, right? Actually, I think we did that the day before. Let's get rid of that. It's just too obvious. So here's your support around 92. Let's call it in GDX. Today's gonna be an update. So where's your resistance? It's gonna be around here, 102 pre-gap. Then you got post-gap, and then you got the all-time highs. This is very clear and easy, easier than reading gold actually and silver. So I think you got simple resistance levels to look at. If we start going down, today will not be a down day, but I think still this general area should be support. The ascending, it's pretty credible. One, two, three, you can even say four now. Four times it's hit over a nicely spread area, so pretty credible. Otherwise, we go down, we go there. I don't see that happening. GDXJ, same sort of thing. We pretty much, I don't even know if that's a gap, but it's the ascending. Very credible. We hit it. Where's your resistance? It's gonna be there. I need to clean up my charts. It's just not good enough. There, pre-gap, and then you got your post-gap. Same, exact same chart as GDX. Makes sense. And obviously you got your all-time high. That'll come into account. Simple levels. We can get rid of that. It's looking a bit better, right? Just after 1 or 2 days. SIL, same thing. Let's get rid of these lines. Let's cheat. One, two, three. We hit that. Where's your resistance? It's going to be pre-gap. It's going to be post-gap. And then you got the all-time high. No point in putting that in yet. That'll take several days at least until we retest that, even if we have a violent bounce. But yeah, I wonder if we can get to what is that? That's probably still too much. So if we just open where we closed yesterday, yeah, I don't think we're going to do 11%. Actually, you never know. If these gains hold and the miners outperform, you would do 11%. In fact, you should do 11%. If silver's up almost 8%, of course you should. Should be up 20. All right, here, Sil J, the crazy one. Looks like we completely filled the gap. Like that's perfect, isn't it? Gap is filled. I remember asking a few days ago, this will never, I said this will never get filled. Bam, wrong. This gap was filled, that gap's filled. Now we can go back up. It looks perfect, especially if you cheat like that. So up we go. Next one is pre-gap. This is an extremely obvious level. Post-gap and then all-time high, which actually there's two of them. There's this one and the real one. But how much of a move is this? This one could make it just because one of the mining ETFs can't make the pre-gap. The other one still can 11%. If these gains hold, honestly, 11%, it should do it. But if we don't do it today and tomorrow we have another sideways slash up day, you could get there. And then you fill the gap. And who knows, you could just, we're gonna bounce and then maybe retrace, but we don't retrace too much, and then we fill the gap and then we retrace. I don't know. Obviously, I'm dreaming there, but and it usually happens a lot faster than that. I have to do it like that so you can see what I mean, the general direction of each day. But it takes like 4 days and then you're back up. That's the kind of the squeeze we've seen. It's basically been a squeeze for months. Okay, let's look at the portfolio. New one. Slight outperformance, right? Up 0.5%, right on the right level. Very nice. It's always a copy paste of GDX, but just slightly stronger. Barrick. I'm not going to put all the levels, right? It's all the same levels. You've seen what I did for GDX. They've all got the same sort of chart. I need to clean this up. Jesus. Barrick. Yeah, the ascending's lost. That's why it's not there, but still, it followed. In fact, I had a stronger day than even Newmont. That's quite impressive. Because that one was so close to making its all-time high of 56 or something. It's a shame. But okay, that's a good bounce, 1.5%. That might even get to its pre-gap fill of 49 today. Be interesting. That really should be resistance though. Agnico. Yeah, this one had a bit of a special chart. It doesn't have the same ascending. It doesn't work because it was underperforming during this consolidation phase and then slight outperformance on the breakout, but it's retested. It's got the very clear horizontal retest and it bounced right there. No coincidence. So that was nice. Bounce was green, right? Remember, metals were red that day. So that's nice to see. Wheaton, fine. Also slightly green. You can count on that one. It's got big exposure to silver, so it really makes sense that it bounces when silver bounces too. Franco Nevada, it's good. That's why I'm in these stocks rather than the ETFs. Not only do they outperform, hopefully, but they are dependable, right? If the miners or the metals go up, they go up. It's not some junior stock that ends up going down when the metals are up. I like this. All right, Metalla, more of a junior, also a bounce day. That one, it was very weak here, right? Everything else is squeezing and breaking out. But I'll tell you what, it hasn't come down as much as I thought it would for a stock that was weak. I need to redo the lines at some point here. But I mean, this general area was resistance, broke out, retested, failed to break out, but already just came there and held there. That's quite good. Didn't come down that much. Okay, the mid tiers before I get to silver. I am gold. Perfect chart following GDX. That's your gap fill. Keep it simple. Very nice. Pre-gap, post-gap, all-time high. Same thing. Equinox. Quite similar. That's actually bounced quite nice. That could get to the pre-gap real easy. This one is the only non-senior gold stock that I added to because I want to make it a senior stock in my, you know, weighting in my portfolio because I think it's well, it is going to become a senior beast producer anyway. I just think it's better than I am gold basically, so it deserves a spot next to the seniors. But yeah, that looks good. That should be in the 20s soon this year. B2 Gold, this one, in the end, just perfect technicals. Broke out of the zone where I wanted to close the position, 479. Went all the way up here, outperformed basically all the gold stocks. Went all the way to 590, which was resistance, clearly, right? Everyone trying to sell at 6, not gonna happen. I would have had at 589, so I don't even know if I sold at 589. I think I would have. I remember mentioning that. But anyway, all the way back down to breakout, and now we're bouncing. It should, don't really have a gap here, but push, just climb all the way back up as long as the metals do. And if we stall, we stall. This is your support. This is your next support. And then that is your very strong support. You could have like a fake flush and then it holds here because this is very long-term, credible ascending support. So those are your supports, only one resistance. Very simple, and I like it. It's been outperforming and it's clear to read. I quite like owning BT Gold now. It's a bit clearer. Harmony, wonderful. It's got its own. They've all got, this chart or something similar or a breakout horizontal. Very nice. Easy to read. Should bounce. There's your zone. I did it in the middle, but basically there's two areas. That's nice. Come on, climb back up. Aris Mining. What did that do? Oh, that's a strong bounce. Yes, that must have been news. Must have been news. I'll just close all that. Very strong. Wow, that's something special. 5.5%. Well, it might just. I think 19 will be easy, actually. I think we could even fill the gap today. How much of a move is it from where we closed to fill the gap? Yeah, 8%. Free gap is 5. I think that's a bit easy. Could just end up closing the gap. If there's any continuation, this thing could be back at the old highs. I might just trim if it does that. But I didn't add to this one. Doesn't mean I can't trim. Anyway, SBSW. Yeah, trading like a gold and silver stock. I don't know how much the price of platinum and palladium come in, but they've had similar charts. They've just been following gold and silver, right? So I actually own palladium. See, look at that. Look at the ascending support. Boom, perfect. Right now it's just like gold and silver. So that should this is not really relevant anymore. Neither is this. It's just the old high. So that'll just creep up. It'll encounter resistance somewhere, probably 2000, maybe just before, maybe now, maybe if gold and silver meet resistance, then the sister metals, platinum and palladium do. But anyway, SBSW is pretty much in line with the other metals because with the other miners because it's the metals are following the same sort of trajectory. So a bit of resistance there, 1850, trim at 49. This one I want to sell even more. I kind of want to close my position in SPSW because I mean, what else do you want? I basically held it from all the way down here, low threes, adding, and I was trading these ranges. And then when it started to get here, I started to let go and think, okay, maybe something's gonna happen. And then everything started to go up. And I did my usual stuff of just trimming on every major level and trying to buy back on every dip, which kind of worked. But now what do I want? We go back up to 21, 20, like what? Even if it goes to 30, you're allowed to close your position, you know? And then I can just focus on gold and silver because I don't really want to focus. My portfolio is just huge. And I think I told you guys I just dumped like four what I call blue chip bounce stocks. Paramount, Target, UPS, and Pfizer that I held for several months just because they were trashed and I thought they could bounce, and they kind of did, but I overall had made a tiny bit. I just said, right, you guys sell into the miners, and it didn't count as using up sidelines because it was money that was not on the sidelines, it was in these stocks. And and it also cleaned up my portfolio, just another four stocks not to look at. I don't have to start paying attention to Paramount news of mergers with Disney. I don't care about that stuff. I just wanted the stock. I mean, I wasn't really reading the news anyway. I don't even read all the minor news, but it's just more focus, right? There's that famous phrase like "He who defends everywhere is weak everywhere," Sun Tzu. And here it was just I was able to concentrate my focus a bit more by closing those positions. So SBSW, I might just sell on these levels on the way up just so that I can close my platinum palladium and just focus on gold and silver because silver would probably go up more than platinum palladium in the very near term, in like the next 1 or 2 years, and gold is just more dependable anyway for long term moves. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, SBSW from 3 to 20. What else do you want, really? But I haven't done anything yet. Okay, silver stocks. Let's start with Pan America. I want to start covering Pan America with the silver stocks. So this doesn't have the same as all those gold stocks, the ascending. But what have we done? We've come all the way back. Pan America. Yeah, yesterday I was buying pre-market. Didn't say that, did I? But I was buying. So I woke up, and of course it was the Monday where we're flushing to new levels. Didn't really expect that, but not the biggest surprise, let's say. And I saw the miners down 6, 7, 8% pre-market. I just bought, and I bought the usual six suspects. So Pan America, Wheaton, Franco, Newmont, Agnico, and Barrick. That's six, right? And then so they all had a decent nibble, like decent. Not as much as the day before. I actually added more on Friday, but I was prepared yesterday, Monday, pre-market go in, which I did, and then during regular hours, if we go back down, meet the lows, and then make new lows, I was ready to add again. But since we kind of didn't make new lows, we almost did yesterday. We just actually, yeah, we didn't make new lows regular hours. We didn't visit the pre-market lows, but if we had, I would have added again. We just sort of drifted. It was still a red day. And in the end, it was sort of unchanged, which is fair enough. And today's going to be an update. So I didn't add as much as I intended, but I am low on cash. So Pan America, I did add to. Yesterday we closed there. You can see we're stabilizing. I guess that's your level. That's too close. This is obvious. So if we go down again, I don't see any silver or miners new lows today, right? We're already up green, but I do see this huge area here, right? Let's just get that out of the way. So there's your huge support around 44, 45. Today we bounce. We got gap fills. It's simple. They've all got gap fills. It's near 60. This will be 59, 40. So trim at 39 if you really want. I'm not going to trim, I don't think, unless it's really obvious that this is a sell. Then I may trim everything. If every stock is reaching their gap fill zone, I might do a small trim, like a third of what I've bought overall. So that if it goes back down, I buy that third back. And if we go lower, then I add more, as I intended to do yesterday during regular hours. So I may try and swing trade the short term drop here. I don't intend to. I've got no sell orders, no buy orders, nothing. It's just all empty. But It's just you never know, right? I might just get emotional or think it's really obvious and then just do a massive trim across the board using market order mid price, which I really like interactive brokers, the mid price functionality. It gives you the best fill with the spread and it's a market order. It's really good actually, especially when things are moving crazy. Okay, so those are your levels pre and post, and then the all-time high, bit like everything else. I have no intention right now of placing any sells. First Majestic, same sort of thing. Here you do have the ascending. I like it. Stabilizing those two candles, the closes next to yesterday's low of day, a bit like silver. We've got the ascending. Today's going to be an update. There's your 2350 gap fill. That's far away, but it is an update. Yeah, you're not going to do 15%. We should do 15%, but not gonna do that. But I don't know. I still don't know if I will trade that. And if I do, it's probably tomorrow after another slightly green day. But should be a nice strong day. CD, so far they're up 8, 9% pre-market. Huh? This is kind of the time when I was buying pre-market, like now or half an hour from now. Um, so normally I'm buying now because they've been down the last 2 days, but I wonder if that means if I should be trimming. I'm not going to do it. So it should be a decent day, 8, 9% if everything holds. CDE, there you go. Back to also a small horizontal zone here. You can see this was resistance. Bam, broke out, and now we've retested. Also the ascending, also everything else is holding where, like silver's holding. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so resistance is going to be 23. Again, same thing, nothing, no plans to sell. Heckler. Heckler was down 4.5% by the close yesterday. Also lost its ascending. That was a little annoying. So it's ruined the picture. And this is not the kind of thing where I can cheat and go, there you go. Because it's just, well, I will do it now. I don't know. Or is it this rather? Yeah, I'm still cheating. It was perfect if it reversed yesterday, but that extra 4.5%, and it stands out. Everything else was sort of unchanged, down 1% max, but this is 4.5. Mm, yeah, it's just extra weak. And it's already come down more. I don't know about the percentage wise, but it was coming down after its earnings and it was extra weak. Then there was one day, I don't know what it is, but there was one day in this drop where it kind of outperformed, I think, the others, or it didn't go down as much, which is the definition of outperformance. But here you go, it's just ruined it. Basically, almost down 40% from high to low. But today will be an update. And today, yeah, it's up 9% pre-market. So fair enough. At least it's reacting to that. That's not level. That's not level. Let's just be clear. That's the level. And pre and post is the same thing. One level, 24.90, 24.89. If you want to sell it, where are we now? 23.50. There you go. Look at that. That's a 9% move. Beautiful. This is going to be up so many percentage points just to get back up here. And we will get back up there, right? If silver goes back up to 120 and breaks out, sorry, Heckler, you're going all the way back up. And that's something that Heckler does. And I don't think the bad news, supposedly bad news recently from the earnings, is going to stop that. So, all right, no plans to do any trades as usual. EXK, nice. Very nice. Nice bounce. Is that a level? What's that horizontal? Yeah, okay, kind of. Well, anyway, that is definitely a level now because that's where it bounced yesterday. So you got this sort of 1050 as your support, and now we're going to go back up. And I don't see anything until, as usual, pre and post gap fill. I'll just do a line in the middle. I can't be bothered. So that's around 10, 12, 12.20, 12.30. How much of a percentage move from there? 13, 14%. EXK is capable of doing a day like that today. So far, it's up 9%. So I'll leave it there. So far, so good. It's very early in the morning. All right, nothing's guaranteed, etc., etc. But it's looking very nice. We've stabilized. Weak hands have been flushed out. I think we've come down enough. All right, let's look at silver in particular. Yeah, we came down a lot. Almost cut in half from 120 all the way down to 70. You know what I mean? Elevated down, and nothing fundamentally has changed. We know this. Not it was just pure paper smash at a special hour of the day, and the rest it was just stop orders and momentum, shorts, whatever you want to call it. And that's what you need for a nice little reset, RSI, weak hands out, and now we can basically staircase back up the way we've been doing the whole time, right? We've had these little flushes before, nothing as dramatic, but we've had a little one, two, three flush, and okay, it's taken a few days to recover, but we've had these couple of days. Some of them are faster than others. I think it's going to be much faster this time. Just everything's faster now, everything. Um, so, all right, let's see what happens. Good luck.